A unified dumbass here. Today we're going to explain what dark matter is and why light does not interact with it using my mechanical string. The second dimension, a sheet, warps and stacks on top of itself to create 3D volume. Our reality is just the second dimension stacking up on top of itself to create depth. As you can see, this is a flat 2D sheet. If this sheet continues to warp, it'll fall on the ground and create a heap of this warped tissue paper. Matter and dark matter is this heap. The way that light interacts with this heap is what differentiates between dark matter and normal matter. Light interacts with the flat side of this two-dimensional sheet. This is normal matter. We interact with light. We are a super compressed version of this heap. Light interacts with the flat side of the heap. If we turn this pile, we can then see the flat two-dimensional sheet warping on top of itself. The warps of the second dimension create a volume. Depending on your perspective, light will either interact with you or it'll pass right on through. Dark matter is a 3D volume of the second dimension stacked and warped on top of itself. But it has holes. Dark matter has holes. It is hollow. Normal matter interacts with light. Dark matter has holes. Light passes right on through. Even though light goes straight through these holes, it interacts with the inner walls of the second dimension. If you were somehow inside dark matter, the inner walls would be lit up. From the outside looking in, light would just pass right on through it, so it would be transparent. Dark matter is like a sponge. Light goes straight through it. However, the inner walls capture the wave. When I was describing this to a friend, he said that if dark matter were a sponge, the wet parts of this sponge would be where light and energy is captured. The dry parts is where light and energy is not captured. These are the voids. We live in dark matter, the holes of the second dimensional stack, where light can go through but is also captured. This is our universe. Light goes through dark matter, but dark matter also captures light. We are a smaller version of this universal sponge. Consciousness is pure energy within the inner walls of the brain. Consciousness is where the 3D volume of the second dimensional stack has holes. It's a matter of perspective. If light interacts with you, you are made up of normal matter. If light goes through you, but is captured, you are dark matter. We are solid objects, made up from matter and dark matter. Self-awareness is what happens when that hole bends so deeply that it can see its own inner walls. All living beings are dynamic dark matter holes. Simple beings have a short tube where light and energy can be captured within the inner walls. The longer this tube is, the more energy can be captured internally, and thus the more complex you are. If it circles back onto itself like a torus or a donut, then you are self-aware. As you age, the toruses will develop, and you will become self-aware. Within every neuron is one of these dark matter toruses. If you are not living like a rock, light can only interact with you. You are the flat side of the two-dimensional sheet. A rock does not have any internal energy being captured. It cannot sense its own environment. For simple life, the observer inside the hole is looking straight ahead at the exit. They experience reality, but they don't think about the fact that they are experiencing it. When an energy spike, a thought, or perception enters a human brain, it doesn't just pass through, because the cavity is a closed loop. The energy circles back around and hits the observer coordinate from behind. The energy loops so fast and so tightly that the observer isn't just looking at the outside world anymore. The observer is looking at the loop itself. Most living things are just windows the universe uses to look out at the flat 2D sheet of matter. The energy flows one way, from the outside world, into the hole, and out. But a self-aware brain is a glitch in the machine, because our dark matter holes are compressed into closed loops. The energy gets trapped into an infinite echo chamber. We aren't just the universe looking at matter anymore. We are a specific coordinate where the universal sponge has folded so tightly that the energy is forced to look directly at itself. There is evidence to support this. The OR, Orchestrated Objective Reduction Theory, developed by physicist Roger Penrose and anesthesiologist Stuart Hameroff, proposed that consciousness is not a digital calculation created by your brain cells, but a fundamental feature of the universe's geometric fabric. They argue that quantum vibrations occur inside the hollow microscopic structures of neurons called microtubules. When these tiny quantum states build up enough gravitational tension, they reach a critical threshold and spontaneously collapse or snap in a process called objective reduction. Trillions of these microscopic geometric snaps are organized across the brain's neural networks every second, creating the continuous stream of discrete conscious moments that we experience as reality. Dark matter is involved here because biological proteins are the scaffolding, but the empty space inside them is the actual machine. Kinesin 13 bends the dark matter hole into a self-aware torus. The active motor toroids pump the sensory energy through that torus so it never stops looping. Your cells are essentially microscopic particle accelerators, using normal matter proteins to trap, shape, and manipulate the dark matter geometry of spacetime right inside your brain. Waking is the dark matter loop being flooded by the outside world. Dreaming is the dark matter loop being fed by the inside world. Death is the dark matter loop opening up and returning to the whole world. This is Unified Dumbass. Thanks for watching. I'm out.